Hello and welcome to the Mother's Day beginners class. This is Danny Design Studio and today we're making a card and a gift box. Now all the dimensions and the details will be all in the description below. So if you press the downward facing arrow on the right hand side, if you're watching on YouTube, this will give you all the details of it. So I'm not going to go through that at the moment. So we're going to start with this box. So I just want to tell you where this is all from. So Stampin' Up! The mini catalogue is Love You Always, and we're using some of the papers from here. So I'm using the Love You Always foil sheets and Love You Always Speciality Designer Series paper and the True Love Designer Spit Series paper, these little flowers here, and the ribbon, of course. So starting with the box, you need the very vanilla cardstock, which is 12 by 12, and also this speciality paper as well. So I have done all the scoring for you, but I'd like to show you how to do it. So if you had cardstock that you wanted to use, you will know how to do it yourself. So I'm going to do the top actually first, the top of the box, because this has to be slightly bigger in order to fit on. So I'm going to move this. This is my Simply Scoring tool, and I just want to see if it's in shot. Yes, it is. So I'm just going to move it slightly to the right hand side. Just you know, one of these little digits here. I'm just going to move it slightly so that your box is just slightly bigger than your base, and then I'm scoring it at 1.5 and 3, and again moving it out slightly. And I'm doing this scoring on all 4 sides. With the Designer Series paper, you just have to be slightly careful with the scoring, because it's a bit more fragile than cardstock. So with this Simply Scoring tool, you've got a little stylus. One is a smaller end and one is a larger end, and I'm using the larger end in order not to press too much. So you can probably see the scoring on that side. So while I've got the Simply Scoring tool out, I might as well do the base of the box. So this is a 12 by 12, and then I'm scoring at 3. Now this is pushed right to the edge. Oops. If you go too quickly, it comes off the little runner. So I need to slow down. That's it. There. So at least we're all done with that. Put that away. So I'm going to start with the top of the box, and I'm going to burnish all those score lines. So just going to fold it just gently at first, and then once it's got used to being folded, when we cut it, we're going to sort of reinforce that fold, because that will make your box a little bit sort of sturdier. This is also a reinforced box, so you've got 2 lips here, only because the Designer Series paper, as I said, is a little bit sort of thinner, so it just reinforces it to make it slightly stronger. and also I think it gives a sort of a better look and a better finish. So then I've done all of that, and then I'm going to cut. So all four corners are the same, so you've got 4 squares. So I'm going to cut up this first line, this first vertical line, and you need to have that nice and straight because that is the corner of your box and you're going to see that. So then you cut up that line, and then I'm going to cut this off and that one off, so you're left with this little tag. So you had 4 squares and I've cut 3 of them off. So this is a tab, and this is a tab, and this is a tab. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of the edge off because it'll give you a nicer fold and you won't see that edge so much. So you're cutting here, cutting this little tab a little bit, and this, just notching into them a little bit. Just going to get rid of this, and then you just do that on all 4 sides. So this is the other side, cutting up that first score line up to the second horizontal line, cutting up to this one. Remember, I'm taking all of these 3 squares off because I don't want them. So then I'm just cutting, notching into these little bits here because that is what's going to give me my tab. So I'm doing this in real time because I understand I could speed up the video at this point, but sometimes it's good to see it a few times, especially if you're a beginner. So notching into these, that one, and then this is the last square, cutting up there. Sometimes it's easier to push that out of the way so you can grab your paper. So I've got one little square left, notching, notching, notching that one and that one. So get rid of all this. So then you're left with something like that, and that's on the other side. So these 4 little corners are tabs, and this is the reinforced bit here. So we're going to put glue, I'm going to turn it over this side. This is Tombow glue that I sell if you want to ever have some. It's got a thin side and a thicker side here. And I've just, it's a new one, so and I've just taken some of that out accidentally. Right, so I've got to be careful with this. So I'm going to put it on all of these 4 tabs, and you don't want too much because you just have to control it a little, especially if it's new, and when you get to the end you have to push really hard. But with this wet glue you've just got a little bit of room, so I'm taking that corner and I'm going to just line it up, give it a little push, and within seconds it will be glued together and stuck together. So that's that one. Then push that in, push that up, line it up, give it a little squeeze, make sure you've got a good corner, and then the same with that. It's worth spending a little amount of time on this to get the corners, because otherwise it just doesn't fit the box. Just need to give it a bit of time to set this glue. And then I'm taking these tabs out just so that I can put the glue on. Because it's easier. And then that gives the sides a little bit of extra time to actually dry. So then I'm going to put some glue on this side. Now I have got a bone folder, so it's going to help me, but you can just use your fingers. So you just need to put that in, and I'm going to just reinforce it with this bone folder so that the glue is a nice sort of finish, because you get a nice finish on the edge. So that's happens on all four sides. And you can just use your finger if you want to as well, obviously. It works just as well, but I think if you want to do these projects and you're interested in doing them, then it's worth getting this bone folder, because it gives you a lovely crisp edge. It does all sorts of things. Whoops. That's the last one. So that is our top of the box. So I'm going to put that to one side. We'll then put my glue lid on, otherwise it's going to spill everywhere. So then we're on to our base. So I'm going to actually use my bone folder for my burnish this cardstock, because it's thicker and it can withstand a good crease. So exactly the same sort of thing, except you haven't got the four little squares in this corner. So you're going to this big square is a tab, so I'm going to notch this in, doing that on all four sides. So straight up that's a rectangle square, straight up the square, and then straight up the rectangle, then notch this square bit here. So again, straight up here, of that. So now you're left with that. So that side we're going to glue our little tabs again, and you just need to make sure with the box you've got a nice strong glue, because it is a 3D project. It depends on what you've got in it. There are all sorts of glues on the market. I do recommend this one. There's other types of glues that I have as well, always in stock. So again, we're going to do the four corners, bring in the tab, and then align it at the edge here. So it needs a little bit of time because it's a thicker cardstock. So I'm just going to make sure that works. So the very vanilla is a nice thicker card, so it just needs a bit more time and pressing. There we go. So that is the base of my box, and then that should fit because we made it a little bit wider, snugly over that. So then I'm going to put my ribbon on it. Now you're going to get this ribbon out of the suite, but I've only got enough for the class, so I'm going to use this. This is the Rococo Rose that is in here, and this is one of the in colours that is going to be retiring soon, and it is such a lovely colour. I don't think I've used it enough, but I'm going to do my bow now because when I decorate it with the flowers, I'll know exactly where to put my flowers. And I know there's nothing in it at the moment, it's just in order to position my flowers. It's not very tight. And I'm then going to show you how to colour the flowers. Just going to make the ends. It's not very forgiving, this ribbon. The ribbon that you're going to get is probably going to be easier to tie. So put that to one side. Now I'm going to give you a bit of the flowers, a section of these flowers, and I've already coloured these in, but I've got one that I haven't coloured and I don't know where it is. There it is. Sorry. So I've coloured these in using the Stampin' Blends. Now you can colour in with whatever you've got, but these are sort of the colours that I've got here. And these are Stampin' Blends. They're alcohol based, and they come in a pair, which is a dark and a light. Now how they have a fine tip and a sort of a brush-like tip, which is really lovely. And I'm going to show you how to create this depth of colour. So I've used that's Granny Apple green. This is the Rococo Rose that is in the base at the top of the box, and then this is Petal Pink. These are the colours I had. I wanted to use this, and at the time this did not, they normally come in a light and dark, but at the time I bought this I only bought the light one. So I'm going to use that, and that creates the depth in the middle. I'm going to show you how it works, because I absolutely love these. And when you first look at it, you think that doesn't look that nice, but also if you're going to colour them in with these, do one flower at a time, because you want it to blend. And I'm going to use the dark of the Petal Pink, and then I'm going to use a swirling motion to blend that into the rest of the petal. Now you may think that doesn't look that great, but it will, trust me. So then the lighter for the rest of the petal. Now you can still see, I think you can still see the marker of the pink, the dark pink, onto the lighter pink. So once I've done all that, I'm then going to bring in the darker petal pink, and I'm going to do some swirling motions to blend that in a bit more, and slowly you will see it blending. Now the thing is with that, as it dries it will just have a different colour, but I want to make it slightly darker again, so I'm going to bring in the Rococo Rose again, and I'm using the guide of the darker sort of black lines in order to help me with the shading. But you can see it's creating a depth to it, and it makes you look like an artist even though you're not, and I love them. Doing the same with the green, so that Granny Apple Green, as you can see, it goes through. So I'm using the shading of the black lines for the darker bit, because the darker bit needs to be in the middle, and then the lighter at the edges. Now at first you think it doesn't look that different, that green, but I'm going to show you how it will look in a minute. Right, so if you can see, it doesn't look that different. And then I'm going to put, and the more you go on it, the darker it gets. So keep going, and as it evaporates, the alcohol, it does get lighter, but then you can then add to it. So now you can see that it's got that lighter and darker edge to it. So that's how I did those. Then fussy cutting, and you get a nice pair of small scissors, sharp edge, and basically you turn the paper, not the scissors. So you give a little slight border, and then as you can see, I am turning my paper, not my scissors. You see I went over the edge a little bit there. Not going to notice that much. At first I didn't like fussy cutting. I thought, what is the point of fussy cutting? That's what they call it, fussy cutting. But if you've got the right scissors, you can't have a huge pair of scissors, it's pointless. It won't let you get right into the nooks and crannies that you need to. And remember to turn the paper, good scissors, pointy edge, small scissors, so that you have a good fit for your hand. And that's it. So then I've created a little bit of a depth to it. Let's get rid of this. So I have cut that bit, you see. So then I'm going to just glue it a little bit, tiny bit of glue, because this is going to be hand given, so I know I can get it in the post. Obviously if it's not going to be hand given, then you wouldn't want to do this, because I like this little tulipy bit that comes up. Well, not tulip, it's a bud. So that just creates a little bit of depth. If you just pinch the petals, that will give you some depth, but not if you're posting the card, it's no point. So I'm going to have those to one side for the moment, and then the card is here. Sorry about my squeaky chair. So then I'm going to put some glue down and pop that in the middle, centralize it as much as possible. And then this is from the lovely dies, the Hearts dies. I'm trying to show you where it is. Floral Hearts dies, and you've got this, and it's just so pretty. And then you've got little hearts. You can get sort of heart confetti from that. So that has come from there, and it's not long enough, but your flowers are going to hide it, so you need to pop it to one side like that. So now this is tricky because your glue, you just need to control your glue. Can't seem to. There we go. Because you don't want to get too much glue on that so it seeps out. So I'm just putting little dots on the side. There's probably too big a dot there, but you might not see it because the flower will hide it. So I'm just going to position it so that it is to the side here, and then just pop it down where you want it. And I'm going to put my flowers on because then I know where to put my sentiment. Put that at an angle. And then happy birthday. These two. Oh, I'm going to put happy birthday. I'm not going to put Mother's Day because I've already got a Mother's Day. And then I have given you some little dimensions, and that just raises it up a little bit. This is a take your pick tool, but you can just use your fingers. And then you need to take the backings off, just like sticky fixers, but they're slightly more raised. I'm going to put that there where I'm happy with. So that's one, and then with this I'm going to put this on first and just stick it on so that where I'm happy. put that. And maybe that on top. So I'm going to push it over a little bit because I need to get my writing on. So then the last bit is you've got this and a lovely backing on there as well. So again, you need to get a little bit of glue. It's glued up top already. A little bit fiddly, but I think it's worth it. And then you need to place it onto your always. Just highlights it nicely. And what's lovely is that you can say you've made this box for your mum or your mum-in-law, and they'll be really impressed. There we go. Let's stick it on. Such a lovely day out here. It's so nice to see the sun, and the sun is trying to peek through. So I'm gonna put that there. Might need a little more glue. So I hope you enjoyed this class. I have a regular monthly class that comes out on the 1st of every month, and when there's an occasion of some sort like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, Father's Day, I do a beginner's class. So otherwise I do a regular monthly class, and that comes out on the 1st of March, or the 1st of every month anyway. So thank you very much for joining me. If you are a beginner and you want to attend the monthly class, if you want to sign up for it, you just need a little starter pack. Just need to get in touch with me and you can do that as well. It's not difficult. So yeah, until next time, happy stamping, crafters. If you like this video, please click the like button below, and please subscribe and select the bell icon to all to receive notifications of when I upload. Thank you.